What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today we have Bitcoin sitting at $59,600 and just continuing to uh, accumulate here in this zone. Um, so we will talk more about that. And we have the stock market slowing down with the SPY sitting at 559 and the Qs at 481. So, are we going to see the stocks sell off, or are we going to see this bull market continue? Well, we do have uh, big corporations buying back aggressively here. So, in my opinion, I do think that the stock market continues to go higher. However, in the short term, we may see some selling. And some stocks, such as Amazon, have been underperforming the Magnificent Seven. So that is something to keep an eye on as we go into this fall ahead of Christmas and the typical end of the year Santa Claus rally. We know that some of these consumer and retail stocks do very well, so we'll discuss that. And we have stocks such as RK making a comeback here, sitting at $44.91. So if all that sounds good to you, you know what to do. Be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. And let's get into the video. All right, guys, it is Wednesday, hump day, halfway through the week. I hope everyone is doing well out there. So let's just start off here with ARK and take a look at what we're seeing. Well, we have a series of higher lows and higher highs over the longer term since 2023. And RK has regained support on our trend line here. This is the 4-hour chart. So it'll be interesting to see if we can hold this area here and get back above this area that was previously acting as support, now acting as resistance. We are right on that line. And for RK, we have our first take profit zone around $50. I want to go back to Amazon because there's something here that I was seeing here on the charts showing that Amazon could go higher here in the next couple days. We've got this gap fill around 184. You can see we just came into our first take profit zone after we mentioned this stock back down here. So that's something to keep in mind, but I think overall Amazon probably does go higher. Uh, as an investor or a longer term position, I wouldn't have any worries with this stock. I still think Amazon is a very strong company and will do very well over the long term. I still think that we have probably at least another 6 to 12 months left in this bull market. There is this gap fill down here, so that's something to keep in mind. And if we do see stock market start to roll back over, well, we could go back and close some of those gaps. We have gaps left behind on this run over the past couple weeks on the Qs, a couple gap fills, as well as the SPY. So I marked those off here on the charts as potential areas where we may see uh, something like the stock market come down to get those gap fills, possibly here or here, before moving higher. And I think that makes probably the most sense at this point. I could see a little bit of weakness here. Typically, this time of year is a little bit weak for the stock market, and we do typically have a little bit of weakness in September, so that's something to keep in mind. But it looks like we could be setting up for a big inverse head and shoulder pattern here. So um, I do think the stock market continues to rally, and I have a couple other stocks that I wanted to mention. We have um, some of the Bitcoin miners, in particular, this Bitcoin miner, 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗶𝗺𝗏, ticker symbol WULF. And this is not just a crypto miner, but also an AI play, which is all the rage these days. So that is something to keep in mind. Anything to do with AI is really doing well overall in this bull run, of course. And so any of those plays typically do have some better returns. So that's just something to keep in mind. But the reason I wanted to mention this stock is right now it is sitting at 479 and we are approaching that gap fill right around 508. I mentioned this stock back down here whenever we found support here at the uh, 618 zone, and we saw this green candle. So yeah, this has been quite a little run here over the past few days. This stock has moved up nearly 50% here just in the past couple of days. So that is an amazing return. I try to find the best entries for you guys to help you become better investors and traders. That's my overall goal with this channel is to show people how investing and trading works. I've been an investor for over 20 years. The stock market is something that I have followed since mainly since the '08, '09 crisis when I was working. I remember all the fear at that time, and I placed my first trades coming out of that correction. I think starting in June of 2009. Um, Made some great returns on those. I have swing traded within my accounts for ever since then, really, and now I am becoming a full-time trader over the last couple of years. So I wanted to share this information with you to help you hopefully make a profit and possibly generate additional income. So where is this stock headed? Well, I think it's heading much higher, honestly. Um, but I could see us potentially closing this gap and coming back down maybe to something like this 382 right here. So that's something to keep in mind. I'll go ahead and extend these just to update the charts here a little bit. But nevertheless, I think this is a great AI and crypto play. Another stock I wanted to mention is another Bitcoin miner. And the reason I wanted to mention this one is because I think this is an absolutely great place to get in on this stock. This is BitDeer Technologies, ticker symbol BTDR. And right now, off this last pullback, you can see we fell through that 618, came down to the 782. This is an absolutely great entry point, and we even dipped down and touched our longer term trend line here, which goes back over the past year or so. And so I think this one is going to really move to the upside here, especially if Bitcoin's price continues to go up, which I think will happen here over the next couple of years. I definitely think Bitcoin is going much higher. And right now, BitDeer sitting at $7.12. So one thing I'm looking at, this is the 4-hour chart, is we have this downward sloping trend line, and if we can get above that, possibly come up and come down, retest, well, that's a bit more safer play if you wanted to wait to get in on this, just confirming that this area will hold. Nevertheless, I still think this stock will do very well here through the rest of this bull market. I don't really have any price predictions or anything like that for this stock. But I just wanted to point it out because I thought this was an absolutely great entry point on this stock. Another stock they have is uh, Futu, FUTU. This is a financial technology company, and basically, I guess, is has software for trading and markets. And I found this yesterday, and we have this downward sloping trend line here. We're just starting to break above that. So I think this is a good spot entry on this stock sitting at 63.24. And we do have a gap fill up here around 68. So I think we could see this stock go up there and close that gap in the coming days and weeks. Excuse me, guys. Um, we also have gold uh, making new all-time highs yesterday and currently sitting at $2,500 and 2508. And silver has been making a comeback, sitting at 2954. Uh, as I mentioned here on the silver chart, we had this downward sloping trend line. We knew once we broke out of that, we were going to most likely see silver move higher. And we had this box here acting as support. We did dip through that temporarily during the sell off we had a couple weeks ago. Nevertheless, I think silver is definitely going higher, uh, somewhere to around this $33 level, and that could happen very soon. We know silver lags the price of gold, and some of these miners have been doing really well. If you're interested in buying stocks, commodities, or crypto, you can do so with Robinhood. Right now, Robinhood offers a 1% boost and 8 times the national savings rate. They also allow you to begin building your portfolio with just as little as $1, and they allow you to buy fractional shares of stocks, which is good if you don't have a lot of money. Say there is a stock that costs $800 or something like that that you're interested in, well, you can buy a fractional share. They allow you to buy stocks, options, ETFs, and trade commission free. They also offer crypto such as Bitcoin and Ethereum and Doge and many more, as well as gold. If you're interested, there is a link down in the description below. Uh, but let's move on to crypto because why isn't Bitcoin moving? A lot of crypto people are saying this uh, top is already in. This is the most boring crypto cycle they have ever seen. Um, and it has been slow. Nevertheless, Bitcoin uh, has been consolidating sideways here for the past several days, and we had this uh, triangle here. We mentioned if we broke out of that and held that level, well, it was most likely going to be on for Bitcoin. And as you can see, we are holding that level again today. Again, $59,500 seems to be the key area for Bitcoin. And of course, we are continuing to put in potentially a massive inverse head and shoulders pattern that could take us to $80,000 here in the coming weeks. Uh, and we take a look at the Bitcoin heat liquidation map. We have this liquidation setting up here around $70,000. This is the monthly chart, so I do think that we probably will go up there and sweep that level very soon. We may run into a bit of resistance before breaking through. That area has been tested several times now, but if we can get above there, then I think it is on for Bitcoin. I do think that you will see a Bitcoin much higher by the end of the year. If we zoom out and just take a look at the 3-month heat liquidation map, you can see all of this liquidity. Look at this $2.5 billion of liquidity. We know the markets like to go up and wipe out that liquidity. That's how the market makers make money. So nevertheless, I think Bitcoin is going to break the all-time highs and will go to six figures, probably potentially by the end of the year. And I think next year, I think Bitcoin and crypto will be much higher. Let's go back to the Bitcoin chart just to discuss a couple of things. So here, um, really you can see that we are just continuing to range sideways. We did have a couple scares here, but we did end up going back down to that $52,000 level, which we mentioned that there was an opportunity that that may happen. Of course, if you bought in on a dip, you are very happy. I waited a couple days just to reconfirm because of the weakness that we have seen in the last couple of weeks. Nevertheless, I do think the bottom is in. I don't think we're going any lower, and I think we will continue to move higher. And as long as we hold this zone here, well, then I do think that we are going higher. I haven't really made many changes to this chart since I drew this earlier this summer. Um, and you can see right now that bottom side of the range right around 59,000 seems to be the support level for Bitcoin. And of course, you have this upward sloping parallel channel, which we were in for a long time. Nevertheless, we have gotten above that, and that does seem to be acting as support as well. I think that if Bitcoin can get back up above that $63,000 level and reclaim that, then we are probably going up to the $67,500 level. And if we can get above there, well, I think we will go retest those all-time highs potentially before a little bit of a pullback and then movement onwards and upwards. Um, as you can see, it's just this patterns just continue to repeat. This is great for traders. They are loving this volatility. There is a lot of money to be made if you are trading. What else is going on in the crypto world? Well, the Total 3 also had this triangle that I mentioned on Bitcoin. Uh, that if we could get above that level and hold that area, well, I think that it is on for these altcoins. Of course, Bitcoin will lead the way. Nevertheless, I do think this is one of the last opportunities to get in if you haven't gotten in on crypto. Solana sitting at $140, and this is the Solana weekly chart. And you can see right now the RSIs have come to the bottom side on the stochastic, and it looks like we are getting ready to put in that golden cross. Every time we have these crosses, you see these pumps to the upside. Uh, it happens time and time again. And so I'm expecting that we are going to see a big move here on Solana. We could go back up to that $200 level here in the coming weeks or possibly even months. Nevertheless, I think Solana is going much, much higher. I think Solana could go to potentially $800 to $1,000 here in the next 6 to 12, maybe 18 months, depending on how long this cycle plays out. I think it does top out in 2025. Also, we have this coming out for Solana ETFs. Crypto B posted this over here on X, and I just found this news this morning. Um, Brazil is leading the way in Solana ETFs. Yes, that's right. Brazil has become the first country to approve a Solana ETF, uh, leaving Canada and US in the dust. So, yes, uh, these ETFs are expected to potentially be approved here in the US, even though um, It may be some time before the U.S. approves a Solana ETF. I do think it is coming. Will it come this year? Possibly. Um, and if not, I think we will see it by 2025. Nevertheless, I do think that what these companies typically do like to do is they um, do offer these ETFs, and what they try to do a lot of times is drive down the markets before these launches happen so that all their friends can get in on it uh, ahead of time and make the most profit. That's just something to keep in mind. Uh, what else is going on with crypto? Ethereum setting at 2600 and really just continuing to show a little more weakness here recently since the ETF launch. Overall, just the crypto market has been slow, but nevertheless, we do have that RSI uh, on the weekly time frame, setting in that golden cross, and it looks like Ethereum could be taking off here very soon. So that is something to keep in mind. We also have this chart posted by Ted over on X. He said, people are calling ETH dead, but they are wrong again. ETH ETF inflows have started increasing. Grayscale outflows are getting smaller. Jump trading has it's greater than 60 million ETH left to sell. So, sorry, less than. And the most importantly, ETH is strongly holding its support level, ETH to $10,000. And if you just take a look at this chart, it looks like they did a fractal pattern here uh, from some of the previous bull runs. And you can see here back in 2021 that we had this move to the upside, and you see the pattern here in this box. Well, it actually looks similar to the pattern playing out here. They highlighted that we reclaimed this after the series of higher lows seen here for Ethereum. So, it's not, doesn't always repeat exactly, but it tends to rhyme. And on this chart, they are showing potentially even high as looks like maybe 14,000. So that would be a wild number. Does it go that high? I don't know. It's hard to say. I definitely think ETH is going much higher. I think you will see Ethereum somewhere above $7,000, $8,000, possibly up to that $10,000 level in 2025. If you're interested in buying stock or Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana, you can do so over on iTrust Capital. iTrust Capital allows you to buy, sell, and trade crypto, gold, and silver 24/7 in a low cost and no monthly fee IRA. Of course, IRAs are tax advantage, so you can keep your gains and not be taxed on them until after retirement. That's one advantage of um, owning these highly volatile assets that have outstanding gains is to own them in an IRA so you are not taxed on them. Plus, they have over 5,000 plus five-star reviews on Google. I use iTrust, and what I like about iTrust is they actually have people that you can call and talk to when setting up your account. So that is always helpful, so it's not necessarily just an automated system and you got to figure out things all on your own. This is a really good plan for a lot of maybe not so tech savvy people out there that want to gain exposure to crypto. If you're interested, there is a link down in the description below. Yes, it is a referral link, and I do appreciate it. All right, guys, don't forget to go follow me over on X at Mind of Financier. I am Mind of the Financier on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, where I make these videos. I try to make them at least 5 days a week. Um, but yeah, I post anything that I see that has to do with the markets, including stocks, commodities, and crypto over here on X. So yeah, feel free to follow me over there. And yeah, it is Wednesday. Hopefully, you all are making it through the week. One thing to keep an eye on this week will be the FOMC meeting coming out on Friday. That could potentially really move the markets depending on what is said there. There is the potential that these markets just continue to move sideways for the next couple of days and potentially sell off depending on the news. But I do think that any sell offs from here will be met with buying demand. And I think that these markets will continue to go up, like I said, for at least the next 6 to 12 months. All right, guys, take care out there. Be legendary. And until next time, peace out.